Hello and welcome to this video learning series of AutoCAD. Today we are going to learn how to use and create layers in AutoCAD. The concept of layers can be understood by taking into consideration the concept of overlays. Different details of a drawing can be drawn on different sheets of paper, and these different sheets of papers are called as overlays. Like you can see in this figure, the object is drawn on overlay 1 and the dimensions are placed on overlay 2. So if we place these overlays on the top of each other, we can reproduce the whole drawing. Like you can see it in the third figure. Overlay 1 and overlay 2 are placed on top of each other and we can see the whole drawing together, the object and the dimensions. So instead of using overlays in AutoCAD, we have the concept of layers. So different details of a drawing can be drawn in different layers. The advantage of using layers is that we can easily turn on off the visibility of a single layer. We can also delete the objects on a particular layer at once. There are many other advantages of using layers which we will discuss later. So first of all, we'll see how to set up layers in a drawing. So let me delete this attached image. So to work with the layers, you need to go to the Layers panel of the Home tab. And here is this Layer Properties tool. Click on it to invoke the Layer Properties Manager. You can see there is a default layer with the name 0 and a tick mark is placed before it, which means it is the current layer. And there are some properties assigned to it. You can see it here. The color assigned to this layer is white, the line type is continuous, line weight is default, transparency value is 0. And currently it is in the on state. So whatever we draw on the screen will be drawn on this 0 layer. And the object we draw will acquire the properties of this 0 layer. Let's check it. Let me draw a circle. Now you can see the color of this circle is white. Line type is continuous. And the line weight is default, which means anything we draw on screen will be drawn on 0 layer because there are no other layers in the Layer Properties Manager. Now I want to create a new layer. For that, I have this New Layer button here. Click on it and you will get a new layer with the default name Layer 1. You can change the name of the layer as per your requirement. Like you can rename it as wall. After renaming it, click anywhere outside to get out of the edit box. Now what I'll do is I'll create another layer with the name doors. And again I'll click outside to get out of the edit box. Let me create another layer with the name windows. Now I'll assign properties to these layers. Let me change the color of the walls layer from white to yellow and press OK. Again, I'll change the line type for the walls. Simply click on this continuous option in the line type column. You'll get this select line type dialog box. Now you can see only continuous line type is available there. So you need to load from the other line types available. So let me make it ISO dash. OK. Again I have to select the loaded line type and again press OK. Now you can see the line type for layer walls has changed from continuous to ISO dash. Let me change the line weight to 0.40 mm and click OK. Now to make the object acquire the properties of this layer, I need to make it the current layer. So simply double click in the status column on this icon. You can see now the tick mark is placed before the walls layer, which means now it is the current layer. So let me draw something. Let me create a rectangle in this layer. You can see this rectangle has acquired the properties of the walls layer. Its color is yellow, but its line type still looks to be continuous. So we need to adjust the scale to get the required line type, that is ISO dash. So select this rectangle, right click, go to properties and change the line type scale for this. Let me make it 50. So I'll make it 1000, 3000. Okay. So now you can see this rectangle has the required line type which we had set in the line type drop down of the walls layer. You can also notice that we had set the line weight for walls layer to 0.40, which is not visible here. So what we need to do, we need to put on the line weight button from the status bar. If you see in the status bar, the line weight button is not available. So what I'll do is I'll click on this customization button and then I will check this line weight option. Now you can see the line weight button is available in the status bar. Here it is. So I need to click on it. Now you can see the line weight is applied to the rectangle. Now let's apply some properties to these doors and windows layer. Let me change the color from white to red. Line type, let it be continuous. Line weight 0.18. And for windows layer, let the color be blue. Line type is fine, I think continuous. Line weight 0.50. So after creating the objects in the walls layer, I need to create some objects in the doors layer. So what I'll do is I'll again double click in the status column. Now the tick mark is placed before the doors layer, which means now the doors layer is the current layer. And the objects we draw from now onwards will acquire the properties of this doors layer. So let me create a circle here for your reference. Now you can see the color assigned to this layer is red and the line weight of 0.18 is also applied to this circle. Again, its line type is continuous. Now let us make the windows layer as the current layer. Again, I'll draw a circle. You can see color of the circle is blue, line type is continuous and the line weight is 0.50. Now let us look at the other columns available in the layer properties manager. Let me expand these columns first so that we can read the names easily. Now the first column is this one and its name is on. You can see there are bulb icons in this column in front of every layer. So what will happen if I click on this bulb icon? You can see the windows layer is my current layer and I have drawn this circle on this layer. So if I try to click on this icon, AutoCAD will warn me it is the current layer and do you want to turn it off? So I'll click on this turn the current layer off option. Now you can see that circle has gone from the screen, the blue colored circle. If I want to redisplay it, I again need to click on this bulb icon. You can see circle is here again. So using this column, you can easily turn on off the visibility of a layer. The second column is freeze. Again, I'll try to freeze the windows layer. Okay. Again, AutoCAD has warned me that this layer cannot be frozen because it is the current layer. So you have to keep in mind we cannot freeze a layer which is the current layer. So to understand the freeze option, we'll take some other layer. Let us take this doors layer. We had drawn this red circle on this layer. So if I try to freeze this layer, you can see the circle has gone from the screen. So what is the difference between turning on off a layer or freezing a layer? When you freeze a layer, it temporarily goes out of the system's memory, thus making your file light in size. You can freeze all the layers which you are not currently working on. This will make your file lighter in size and you can easily access your drawing. To redisplay the circle drawn in the doors layer, I will again click on this icon. You can see the circle is here again. Now the third column is the lock column. So if I click on this lock icon here, what it will do is it will lock the objects drawn in the doors layer. I can see the circle we had earlier drawn on the doors layer has faded a bit. And if I try to hover my cursor over the circle, you can see a lock icon there along with the cursor. And if I try to select it and delete it, I can't do that because we have locked this layer. So you cannot move, copy or delete objects drawn on a layer which is locked. The next column is the plot column. Currently the plot is on for this doors layer. So if I try to take the printout of this drawing, this circle will appear in the printout. Again, if I don't want this circle to be displayed in the printout, what I'll do is I'll click on this icon. I can see a red symbol on this plot icon, which means the objects drawn in this layer will not be plotted. As we already discussed about these three columns: color, line type, line weight. So let's move on to this transparency column. The transparency column has a default value of 0. If I click in this column, I'll get this layer transparency dialog box. And I can set a transparency value between 0 to 90 for a layer. Currently the value is set to 0, so the objects are completely opaque. So before changing the transparency, let me unlock this layer. So I'll click on this lock icon. I can see the circle is redisplayed in the proper red color. Earlier it was faded because we had locked the layer on which it is drawn. Now again I'll click in this transparency column and I'll set the value to 45. Press OK. I can see the circle has again faded because we have changed the transparency from 0 to 45. If I make this transparency value 90, what will happen? The circle is not visible anymore, but it is still there. If I try to select this circle, it is there, but its transparency is at maximum value, which is 90. So what I'll do is I'll again change it to 0 and press enter. You can see the circle is displayed again. So this is about creating layers in AutoCAD and assigning properties to them. There are also some things you need to know while setting up layers. Suppose I don't want this layer, this doors layer. What I can do is I can select this layer. It will be displayed in blue color, and I can go for this delete layer button. So click on this delete layer button. You'll get a warning message which says the selected layer was not deleted. Why it was not deleted? Because this layer contains objects. We have already drawn a circle on this layer, so this layer cannot be deleted. So to understand the function of this delete layer button, what I'll do is I'll create a new layer which is layer 1, and currently it is selected. I'll go for this delete layer button. You can see the layer 1 is deleted. Again we have this set current button. One way to make a layer current is to double click in the status column. Other way is to highlight a layer first and then go for this set current button. You can see the tick mark is placed before the highlighted layer. So this is all for this session. We'll continue learning about layers and some other options available in Layer Properties Manager in the next session. Thanks for watching.